DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Topic of today's video is doubling up on your belief. Doubling up on your self-belief, you're expanding your self-image, doubling up on your confidence. And I talk about confidence a lot in my videos, in my books, on my podcast, and everything I do. I talk about confidence because I believe, and you can tell me if you think differently, I think a person's level of confidence, a person's level of self-esteem, a level of self-belief has more control over their outcomes in life than even their actual level of ability, their level of any other mental thing, discipline, confidence, enthusiasm. Well, not confidence, I said confidence. Discipline, mental toughness is what I meant to say. Enthusiasm, your outside circumstances, who's around you, who's helping you, who's hating on you, what's going on, where you're from. The number one, I believe, factor in where someone ends up in life is how much they believe they can actually get there. How much they believe they won't get there. How much they believe in themselves. How much they believe in their opportunities. How much they believe in their abilities. That has more effect on a person's success than anything else. So it's three things I want to tell you about doubling up on your belief in life. And number one thing, actually I'm going to tell you what all three things are up front, and then I'm going to tell you how to actually get to that level of belief. So the three things is doing more, accepting yourself as real, and a time when you had to. So let's go over all three. Number one, can we all agree that when you have a higher level of confidence, that you're usually willing to go further, try more things, be more experimental, put yourself out there more, just put more effort into something, even though you may be doing the same thing you were doing before? When your level of belief goes up, your level of activity goes up. How much you believe in your activity goes up. The way that you present yourself changes. People respond to you differently when your level of belief goes up. So the point that I'm making here is when your belief goes up, your activity goes up, and the more you're active, you're giving yourself more opportunity to be successful. I mean, if you shot the ball 30 times, you're probably more likely to make a shot than if you shot the ball 10 times. Now, of course, there are a bunch of other factors to go into that, but understand the basis of what I'm saying here. The more chances you take, the more opportunity you have to actually be right in all those chances that you take. And when your level of belief is low, you don't take too many chances. Your mind and everything just shuts down, and you don't want to do anything. You stay in one spot because you don't believe in yourself. When your belief is up, when your belief goes up, your confidence goes up, all of a sudden you want to do everything. You want to try everything. You're not even worried about failing because your level of self-belief is so high that even if you come up short on something, you're going to get right back up and try again. So when we believe more, we try more, we try more, we do more, we do more, we have more opportunities to be successful. And I think if you're watching this video, you plan on being successful in life. Number two, belief. If you look up the definition of belief, it means when you believe in something, you accept it as real. So when we talk about self-belief, this is about you accepting yourself as real. Do you accept yourself as someone who really could make that basketball team? Do you accept yourself as someone who really could start that business? Do you accept yourself as someone who really could lead that organization, as someone who really could, move up out of your neighborhood and be the first person from your family to become successful, however you define that phrase? Do you accept yourself as someone who is real enough to do the things that you have set as your goals? There's a lot of people out here who have goals. They write them down, they talk about them, they have them all in their Instagram captions, and it sounds great, but they don't even accept themselves as a person real enough to actually achieve them. So even though they're talking about it, they don't believe it. And see, you could have all the goals in the world. If you don't believe in yourself enough to actually go after the goal, to take action on the goal, to really believe in that goal so much that you can see it in your mind's eye even before it exists, if you don't have that level of belief, I don't care how many goals you got. I don't care what they sound like or any of that, how much help you got, none of that shit. If you don't believe, if you don't accept yourself as real, none of that stuff's ever going to take place. So belief, again, the definition is accepted as real. Do you accept yourself as real enough to achieve those goals? That's a question that only you can answer. And point number three, I want you to think of a time in life when you had a goal, you had something you were going after, and it wasn't quite working out, or maybe you hadn't even started yet, but nobody else believed you. Nobody believed you would be able to achieve that thing for whatever reason. Maybe because you tried before and you failed. Maybe because they tried before and they failed. Maybe because it just seemed unrealistic. Maybe because nobody ever tried before. So they're like, why you think you can do it if nobody else ever did it before? Maybe because it's a 1 in a million thing. Maybe because nobody even gave a damn whether you did it or not. Maybe you were just by yourself and everyone else was indifferent to you and your goals. But there's been a time, if you're watching this, there's been a time in your life when you didn't have a choice but to believe in yourself because there was no one else around to supply you any extra belief. It was just you by yourself. You remember that time? And what did you have to do in that situation? You didn't have any choice but to ratchet up your own personal self-belief because you didn't have any help. You didn't have anyone else offering you any extra belief. You didn't have anyone patting you on the back and saying, yo, I'm here with you. I'm cheering for you. I'll help you out. I'll offer you some resources, or just giving you some psychic energy. Just saying, yo, I'll pray for you. I'll hope for you. I'll clap for you. I'll support you. You know, I'll like your picture. I'll share your post. You didn't have anything from anybody else to support you. You had no choice but to have an extra level of belief in yourself, and it worked for you. You made it happen in that situation. You remember that time? Now I want you to understand, since you're thinking of it, you can recreate that energy anytime you want. The difference between that situation and the situation you're in right now is maybe back then you had no choice. Your back was to the wall. You had to believe in yourself as high as you possibly could. The situation you're in now is kind of like a choice. Maybe you got fans now. Maybe you got a bunch of customers. Maybe you got a bunch of family members and friends and coaches and co-signers and supporters who want to help you out and see you do good. So you don't have your back to the wall so much now. Maybe you don't have that urgent situation where it's only you and it's only you to depend on you. Maybe you got 1,000, 1,000,000 people depending on you right now, or 1,000,000 people cheering for you and helping you out right now. You can still choose to have that level of urgency that you had back when it was just you by yourself. But it's a choice that you had to make. You had to move yourself to feel like that, as opposed to back then the situation made you feel that way. Now you got to make yourself feel that way. That is the height of self-discipline. And understand that self-discipline creates confidence. Confidence comes from discipline. The more disciplined you are willing to be, the more confident you will be. You understand? So these are the 3 things I'm giving you about doubling up on your belief. Let me recap the 3 things that I told you. Number 1, understand. Actually, let's go backwards. Number 3, there was a time when you had to believe in yourself. You forced yourself to believe in yourself, and you see what came from it, right? The second thing is you got to accept yourself as real. Belief means accepting as real. The more you accept yourself as real, the more things you're going to do. And number 1 is, when the more you believe, the more confident you are, the more chances you'll take, the more times you'll put yourself out there, the more opportunity you give yourself to be successful. The more times you put yourself out there to be successful, the higher the probability that you will actually be successful. So when you believe more, you will do more. Belief means accepting yourself as real. You got to accept yourself as real to achieve things. And there was a time in life where you had no choice but to accept yourself as real, but to do more and put yourself out there, because there's no other way you would have succeeded, and you did it. And you could do it again anytime you feel like it. Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Work on your game. My book, Work on Your Game, using the pro athlete mindset to dominate in business, sports, and life, is available now where all books are sold, physical, digital, and of course the audiobook, 100% done by me. You have learned from these philosophies, the mental game, business, sports, life, anything you do, this is the book for you. Go get it now and work on your game. Dre all day.